All you self-promoters are janky. We established like the
Hey guys, it's Nyra. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Hey, sorry I look so bad in this video, but that's life. Today I want to get real with y'all, okay? Today we're going to talk about the fact that social media is literally ruining our lives. Now, obviously that's me being dramatic. Social media is not ruining my life, at least, but social media is heavily affecting my body image, the way that I look at myself. And I consider myself to be a very confident person, and even still I can admit that social media has an effect on how I look at myself, how I view the world, how I view success. So I can only imagine what it feels like to somebody that is not as confident. So yeah, I just feel like it's really important. You know, if I don't speak about it, who will? You know, not that I have a huge platform, but somebody's gonna hear this and it's gonna hit home and resonate with someone, and that's enough for me. So the platform, or the setup, the layout, the idea, the whole, you know, vibe behind this video is inspired by this girl I just started watching. I'm gonna have her channel name here, and I think you should go watch her video like right after this one, or watch that and come back to this one. I'm gonna link it down below. She talked about how these Instagram models are, you know, basically prostituting themselves, escorting themselves for money and Brazilian booty lifts and Chanel bags. She talked about the morality aspect of it, the fact that it's, you know, prostitution, escorting, whatever you want to call it. That's, you know, really what her video is about. And today I just want to talk about the body image aspect of it. A lot of people are like, oh, you have so many like followers on Instagram, like whatever. First of all, half of them aren't active. So yeah, a lot of people think I like bought my followers, but if we're just being transparent with each other, I didn't start making real money. I worked throughout high school, but I didn't start making real money till I turned 18. When I was 18, I already had 13K. But just one like week in 8th grade, so like a long time ago, and my Instagram page has been around that long. I'll insert proof because I know people are weird like that. Just a long time ago, a bunch of people just started following me, and I was like just posting like random stuff, selfies, pictures of flowers I thought were pretty. You know, that was like the thing, like to have like a cute little feed with like perfectly cropped pictures. And so a bunch of people just started following me out of nowhere in 8th grade. So yeah, that's how that happened. But most of the accounts that follow me at this point aren't active anymore, which is really annoying because I get a lot of people like, did you buy your followers? No, they just all abandoned me because the Instagram algorithm left me behind because I didn't get a Brazilian booty lift. But we'll get into that. So let's just be transparent. Let's just talk about it. When I scroll down my feed, the people that I think are pretty, the people that I think, oh, I love their makeup, or I love the way they look, are all these thick women with like big old booties and thick thighs and wearing expensive clothes. And I am not shaped like that. I used to be very, very skinny. I've gained about 20 pounds since. I'm thicker, and at the end of the day, I love my body. I love the way that I look when I put on my favorite clothes. I love my body. I love the skin that I'm in, and somehow I still find myself comparing myself to people that have altered their bodies, people that have gotten work done. And for me, let's just be 100% transparent about it. I want a bigger butt. But I had to sit myself down last night and say to myself, I don't want a bigger butt. I love the way my butt is. I love the way my legs are. I love the way my thighs are. It's that this new standard of beauty because of social media has been established, and now I'm comparing myself to them. Deep in my heart, I don't want to look like that. But because that is what is the thing right now, for some reason I'm like comparing myself to that, and I'm not that type of girl. I just don't like that. And a lot of these women are investing in their looks because it is what supports them. I have a good paying 9-to-5 job. If you're new here, if you just don't know, I am an optician in real life, and I do have YouTube as a source of income as well. I am fine. But there are women that need the money or don't need the money, but they're just like, hey, why not? And so they're doing this, and that's why they're investing all their money into their looks. I invest into it that I look for me, not because it's going to bring me any more money. I do it because it makes me happy. I like it when I look in the mirror and I like the way that I look, and I appreciate makeup as an art form. That's why I do it. So I have to stop comparing myself to them. For me, I just really believe that social media is damaging because the grass isn't always greener, but nobody on social media shows that. When I have bad nights, when I have anxiety attacks, I'm not posting that on Instagram for a reason, and neither is the next person or the next person or the next person. It's private, as it should be. But social media gives us a altered sense of reality. We only see the good, we never see the bad, we never see the ugly, we never see what these people had to do to get there. And social media makes everything look so easy. All the YouTubers that I look up to, I look at their social media account, YouTube, Instagram, and I'm like, they're living this life that I want. And I'm not envious, I'm motivated, but I'm like, how come it looks so easy for them? It wasn't. But people don't talk about their struggle because nobody wants to hear the story of the struggle. People just want to see your success. They don't care how long it took you to get here. They don't care how long you've been in the industry. They don't care how slow your channel grew. They only care about you once you're popping. They only care about you once you've made it. And so nobody's going to talk about their struggle because realistically, who's going to listen? At the end of the day, say there's a YouTuber with 600,000 subscribers. How many of those people do you think are there to be entertained? And how many people do you think are there because they genuinely feel a connection and they care about that person? Maybe 1K out of the 6, or maybe 100K out of the 600K that they have cares about them. And even that is going to be a push. And so, I don't know. I have to remind myself frequently that social media is smoke and mirrors. I have to remind myself that I do what the next person does, and the next person does, and the next person does. We broadcast our success, not our weaknesses and not our downfalls, because that is private. Now, for me, I look to social media for inspiration, motivation. I like to follow all my favorite YouTubers and people that I look up to in the real world because, you know, I want to manifest that. I want to attract that to me. I want to look at it and say, okay, I want that. I want to be living this life. I want to be doing this. But it is so easy to just look at the result when you cannot see the work that's putting in. And it is like actually stressing me out. The whole point I was going to make with the whole I look at social media for like inspiration and motivation thing is I have an attachment to it because social media does, you know, I feel like social media does so much good for me. I enjoy being able to connect with people. I enjoy being able to see people that I like, see content that I like, but it is damaging when every time I get on YouTube, everybody's face is beat to the gods. I feel like they do makeup better than I do. I feel like they have better clothes than I do. I feel like they look better than I do. They know better people than I do. They have more followers than I do. It's like...
I also just wanted to mention for a second, I was just talking to Paul about this maybe like an hour ago. I feel the most anxious when I'm not being entertained. For whatever reason, my anxiety really kicks into high drive when I'm not being entertained, whether it be a movie, a TV show, music, YouTube video, whatever. So that's another reason that it's hard for me to break my social media addiction, because I turn to social media, even if it's just for like background noise, like white noise while I'm doing something, because if I'm not feeling entertained, I feel anxious. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's the truth.
I have to remind myself that although being an influencer, being a part of the YouTube community is something that I want to do, I have to bring it back a lot recently and remind myself, look, you have morals, the real world is going on around you. Life realistically does not revolve around this stuff. If y'all go watch the video I linked for the girls channel who I found, she was listening to this podcast called Trapping Anonymous, and it's people, trappers, ballers, drug dealers, and like Instagram like models and escorts from Instagram and stuff talk about how much money they make, how they got into it, tell their stories anonymously. And I listened to the podcast as well. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I could not live that way. I could not do it. And yet I'm scrolling on these girls' pages and I'm like, oh, they're courtside at a basketball game. She got this, she got that. She got on these Balenciagas. She got this cute Gucci book bag. She got this. But I have to understand that I don't see what she had to do for that. I don't see the fact that she had to find somebody to watch her kid for the weekend because she was getting flown out and she was getting $2,000 on arrival. Yeah, but at what expense? Having sex with whoever's going to pay you, you know? And not that there's anything wrong with sex work, you know, get it how you live. If there are men out here willing to pay you for what you're going to do for free, I 100% understand it. But just me morally. And that is not to be offensive to anyone that does sex work. Everybody has different morals. Some people see that deeper. Some people are more shallow about it. And shallow being used as a description, an adjective, period. Not a negative description, not anything. Just some people are more shallow about, you know, their sexual activity. Personally, I could just never do that. So I have to remind myself all the work that I'm putting in, all the anxiety I'm getting behind the stuff that I'm trying to accomplish is going to be worth it. Because I won't have to do that, you know? I could easily have everything that I want, but at what expense? Ruining my relationship, potentially ruining my reputation, destroying my pride, my self-worth. It's just completely not worth it. So, I don't know. I just wanted to take a minute and remind everybody, you know, what I had to remind myself. Stop comparing yourself to people on social media. Your favorite IG model is probably having sex for Chanel bags and to pay her $1,000 rent. That's ugly. I understand that is ugly to say, but it's the truth. You know, I can't, it's not what my channel is about to sit on here and be fake with y'all. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I understand that a lot of us in this day and age, especially women, go through the comparing ourselves to these women that we see on social media. And please understand me that the bodies are photoshopped, nip tucked, lifted, and full of silicone. The faces are face tuned. These people do have acne. These people's butts do not look like that in real life. I have to remind myself that. And I wanted to come on here and remind you all that as well, because I do care about you. I'm not here to shame plastic surgery. I'm here to remind you that without plastic surgery, with plastic surgery, you should strive to be the best version of you. I don't know. I just want to remind you that you should strive to be the best version of you, not a decent version of someone else. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know that somebody needed this because I needed this. I told myself I was going to start working out. I was going to go to the gym. I was going to start doing squats to make my butt bigger. I don't even really want to look like that. I love the way that I look. And I had to snap myself back into reality, because at the end of the day, social media is not reality. So yeah, I hope I helped someone. And thank you so much for watching. I love you. I mean it. And I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah. All you self-promoters are janky. We established like the Yankees. This whole fucking game thankless. We moving militant, but somehow you the one tanking. No limit to where I could take it. And you know me as a crisp bottle sender, check picker upper. I thought we looked out for one another. Saw us all as brothers in the struggle, too blessed to be humble. I guess it's different in the city I come from. All of a sudden